What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. This is episode 19 now on the series. If you guys remember from the last episode, we completed Santa's Sleigh. Now, today is December 26th, so it is the day after Christmas. I do hope everyone had a very Merry Christmas and got tons of presents and got to spend time with your family, your friends, all that good stuff. And you guys can see here, we actually have a little bit of decoration going on. So the devs, I'm sure they did this last year, but they've actually hung up some Christmas lights up here. Over here, we actually have a Christmas tree with some cool little presents underneath there. I definitely appreciate a little extra decoration during the holiday season. That's super cool. So this stuff wasn't here in the previous episode. I actually pre-recorded that, obviously, for the holiday season, just so I could have plenty of time to spend with friends and family and holiday parties, all that good stuff. So what we're going to be doing today, actually, I just realized we have a battery charger. I didn't know we had a battery charger. We probably could have utilized that a little bit more. But first, off camera, I've been very, very busy. So right in front of me here, this is a Mark III GTI in the Harlequin style. If you guys don't know what Harlequin is, basically before the Mark IV generation came out, Volkswagen decided, you know what, we have a bunch of random miscellaneous panels sort of laying around. We still have the engines in production, so why don't we take some of those panels and sort of make a car out of all of them in all these different colors. So that's exactly what this is. The only way to sort of distinguish them from another would be by the shell color or this quarter panel here. So this would be a red shell Harlequin Mark III GTI, which is pretty sick. So I was kind of inspired on the last episode to sort of do another mismatched panel car, and I think this one turned out pretty close. Obviously, we can't change the color of the fenders. That's kind of unfortunate, but I think it is pretty close to the original. So I went ahead and did that off camera. I figure, you know, you guys probably don't want to see another GTI. So that is that one completed. It has the same engine as the Mark IV R32 with the V6 in there. And it's making about the same power. I believe it's 400 and some odd horsepower, 413 and 337 foot-pounds of torque. So what I'm going to be doing today is we're going to be taking a look at this. This is a S13, I believe. Or is it an S14? No, S13 coupe that has been turned into a ute. So basically like a truck, essentially. Ute, I think, is sort of like a utilitarian thing. Mainly, they say ute in like Australia, probably European countries, I'm sure. But this thing's super cool. So it's basically set up to drift. It has a little fuel cell in the back here, and it's got a little battery cover there. That's where the battery goes. But it's a 180SX, so it should be, yeah, it is right-hand drive. The 240 is the only one that we got here in the States. I don't believe 180s were delivered to the States, solely just the 240. This is not a pig nose. We have a different body kit on this. I can't remember the exact name on it. It's not anything that I've ever heard of before, but we have a couple of D-Max parts. Got the D-Max hood, we have the D-Max fenders, and I think that is about it. Type X tails, you know, all the good stuff. And what I think we're going to be doing today is taking a look at this thing and seeing how much power we can lay down. If you guys didn't already see when I opened the car status here, it has a V8 dual overhead cam supercharged engine making 703 horsepower. Now that's stock. That is not with a single bolt-on part. So I'm feeling like we could maybe hit 900s in this thing, maybe take it to the drag strip. Obviously, you're supposed to drift it, but you can't really drift in this game. It just doesn't happen. So we're going to be taking these wheels off. You guys will notice I've already completed the underside of this car. So we have a new subframe. We got a new rear cross member in there. The only thing missing at this point would be replacing the engine and getting the rest of the drivetrain installed, complete with the drive shaft and the gearbox and all that good stuff. So we're first going to take off these wheels, and then I think we'll be able to put on a little something different. So I test fitted these, the new wheels we're going to be putting on, with different fenders. I tested them with the stock fenders, and they were a little short of the wheel well, so I'm hoping that these clear. If they don't, honestly, I think I'm just going to leave it. We are going to end up selling this car anyway, so I don't think that's a huge deal, but let's actually get into our inventory here quick and get rid of these old ones. I went with the exact same size, so it should fit, but I feel like with these D-Max front fenders, we're gonna have a little bit more poke. So we're going 255, 30, 18 in the front. And yeah, it does look like we're gonna have a little bit too much poke here, but we're gonna send it anyways. Like I said, we're gonna be selling it, so who really cares? But before we sell it, of course, we'll have to take it down the drag strip, maybe take it to the racetrack, see if it's even drivable. I have to put the 305 30 in the rear. There we go. Rear is finished. Let's move on up to the front here. And we will get the 255 30 18 put on the front. There we go. All right, it's looking good. Aside from the extreme poke from the front, I don't think that looks too bad. The wheels kind of look a little funny on here. I don't think I've ever seen a 240 or 180, I guess in this case, with a CCW style wheel. Typically they're like the sort of baller hot boy style wheels, so this is something a little bit different here, but I think it'll work out okay. Now that we have that done, let's go ahead and hoist it all the way up. We'll get the gearbox taken off of here so we can bring the engine crane over and actually take the V8 out of this thing, and we are going to be rebuilding it and hopefully making a little bit more power than it did from the factory. So let's go grab our crane here, go ahead and move it over to car lifter A, and then we can drop this back down and we will take out this V8. Dude, look at this supercharger too. I'm kind of curious if we'll be able to actually hear the supercharger whine and all of that stuff. So let's go ahead and mount that engine over here. And I think, honestly, what we're going to have to do is time-lapse a full teardown, and then I'll try to buy all of the parts that we're going to need, and we can kind of piece this thing together. So I guess I'll see you guys here in a sec. Okay, I think I got everything we're gonna need to piece this thing back together. We're gonna start with the block here, get the block put on the stand. We'll focus in on the crankshaft. I believe I was able to salvage the crank, and we should only need 3 crankshaft bearing caps, so we'll go ahead and get those installed. There we go. All right, and the pistons we should be able to do from down here. That shouldn't be a problem. I went for the upgraded pistons, of course, because we are trying to hit at least 800 or 900 horsepower in this thing. I don't see why that would be unattainable. From the factory, it was like 703, I think. So with a couple of bolt-ons, we should be able to hit that mark. And we kind of got a built bottom end too at this point, so we should be able to hit that no problem. We'll go ahead and get our rod caps put in. Should be 8 of those. And a last one here. Perfect. All right, things are looking good. Oil pan I think I have. It's like the first oil pan I think we've done that actually has 6 bolts instead of just 4. So hopefully this one doesn't leak. And then we have oil filter over here. I managed to get one of those. Alternator, we got an upgraded one. Put 2 bolts in that. Power steering pump, we have an upgraded one as well. Awesome. Okay, so I think we are ready to rotate this thing around. We'll get our heads put on there. All right, now for the fun part. We'll get our heads mounted up here, and then after we do that, we should be able to mount up the supercharger intake manifold. It's a specific one. I was kind of surprised about that, but I guess it does make sense. The air has to be redirected somehow. So now we can get the intake manifold specifically for, again, the supercharger. There we go, and then the supercharger mounts right on top of that. And we do have a new one of those. There's not an upgraded one in the performance parts shop. Unfortunately, they were out of stock, so we're just gonna have to live with this for now. Fuel rail, direct injection, and camshafts we do have, spark plugs, ignition coils we do have, but we will get the 2 direct injection fuel rails and 2 exhaust manifolds for a V8. All right, I didn't even think about this too. We might need camshaft caps. I don't know for sure, but we will put our fuel filter on there. Let's get our direct injection fuel rails put in there. No hardware required. They just sort of slide into place. And let's see, exhaust manifold for V8. We got 2 upgraded ones of those. Those are looking nice. Nice and polished up. We paid a pretty penny for those, so they should hopefully help us out in hitting that horsepower that we're looking for. Alright, now that we have that done, we'll come down here to the flywheel. Go ahead and get this thing mounted up. That's definitely going to help. Clutch plate, upgraded one of those. Pressure plate, again, upgraded. Stage 2 clutch here. Get that bolted up, and then the clutch release bearing, or the throw out bearing, we'll put that down there. Alright, looking good. I think topside we're looking pretty solid here. Come over to the camshafts, we'll get those installed. Actually, before we do that, let's drop in our spark plugs. We got 8 upgraded spark plugs. Got the NGK plugs here. None of that champion crap. And then camshaft, both upgraded. We should have cam gears too, I think. But let's get the other side mounted up here. Get that one slid in there, this one, and same thing, spark plugs on this side. 3 and 4. There we go. All right, now we can get this cam gear situation figured out. The timing on the V8s seems to take the longest, so we'll see if I was able to get all of the timing components that we're going to need. We need quite a few rollers to get this thing going. So we'll get the 2 timing belts put in. Those are brand new. Timing cover we were able to salvage thanks to our handy dandy little workbench over there. We can't salvage much, but the things that we can salvage tend to be fixed to 100%. Water pump pulley I don't think we have. We're gonna have to grab one of those quick. Just a basic water pump pulley that's gonna go in right here. 4 bolts to get that thing mounted up. And then we can start doing the rollers here. So we have 1 roller B there, a roller B down here. I have a feeling we're already going to need more rollers than I got. I didn't realize, yeah, we already need 2 more B rollers and a roller A up there. Is that the only A? Let's get the crankshaft pulley put on here and that'll sort of tell us. Yeah, we just need 2 more roller Bs and we should be all right. Okay, got those from the store. Those are going in right now. A little bit bigger than the idler roller A. And let's see, we're gonna need supercharger SERP belt for V8 and then probably another one over here, but we're gonna have to get this one mounted first. I don't have that one in my inventory currently. Get that thing mounted in there, and then we're gonna need a tensioner and SERP belt A for the V8. All right, there's SERP belt A, and let's grab ourselves a tensioner here. I haven't been able to type today for some reason. I don't know what's going on. I think my fingers are frozen. There we go, and then the SERP belt A, that's going in right there. And then, of course, we need another roller. So we'll grab 1 more roller here really quick. Okay, roller A is going to go right here. Single bolt in there, and that should do it for the timing. Like I said, man, that takes the longest out of everything that we do on these engines, it seems. And we will get the cylinder head cover put on here. We'll just pretend that we put a little liquid gasket on there so it won't leak. And now that we have that done, ooh, we're gonna need a throttle. I completely forgot about the throttle. Let's go into the performance shop here and we'll grab ourselves a V8 throttle and we will put that down there. Should be 4 bolts here, looking good. All right, and now we can do the ignition coils over here. We got the red tops, they kind of blend in with the cylinder head cover, and then there should be a cover that goes over top that we don't have. So 2 coil covers for a V8. Grab 2 of these, and we should be ready to go here. I think that that about does it on the engine, honestly. Just have to get this other cylinder head cover put on, ignition coils, and then that plate that we just bought. And we should be wrapped up here. This one didn't take near as long as I thought. I figured the supercharger would sort of give us some trouble, but there we go. All right, so now we can put that plate on there, and we can call that a day. Dude, look at that. That's like one of the simpler engines that we've done. I feel like we should probably do these more often, but most of the cars that we do don't have swap options, so you just kind of, you get what you get. But let's go ahead and remove this thing from the crate there and add it onto the crane. install it into the ute, and there we go. We got a dual overhead cam V8 supercharged engine in here now, and it's looking pretty nice. So let's check our car status. I didn't say, I don't think, but we bought this thing from auction for $23,000 and some change, or not from auction, from the junkyard, and we basically just put new panels on it and did stuff that way. But now that we have the engine in there, we can go ahead and move the crane back. We'll lift this thing up, get our gearbox put in here. We'll probably add a 6th speed, I would assume, because most likely we'll be flying through gears here. Oh, that's nice. The exhaust just goes straight through the wheel. Very, very nice. Okay, gearbox. I went ahead and bought a custom gearbox, so that's going to go in right here. We're going to have to get a V8 starter and some performance exhaust, it looks like. Do we have a drive shaft? We don't. So we'll get a drive shaft, some exhaust parts, and we'll be on our way here. There we go. And then we will have to sort of piece together the exhaust system as we go, because I'm hoping there's some performance options. I don't know for sure, but I remember seeing quite a few different V8 exhaust sections in the performance shop, so we should be able to make that work on at least a couple of them. Front exhaust pipe for V8. Let's check the store for that one. I think it was this one, so we'll grab 2 of those. Put one over here. No hardware required, and it doesn't really line up with the manifold, but we'll pretend that we didn't see that. And we'll get the other side mounted up here. That one actually mounts up with its counterpart, but this one doesn't appear to. Let's go ahead and focus in on the middle muffler. We'll grab 2 of those from the store. No cats on this car, no catalytic converters. And there we go. We got 2 middle mufflers going in there. And then we need rear muffler for V8 OHV, so we'll grab that as well. And we should be done with the exhaust section, I believe, as soon as we get these mounted up. All right. Yeah, I have no idea why this is so off-center and is completely going through that wheel over there, because the bumper should have cutouts, doesn't it? Oh, no, it doesn't. The bumper only has a cutout for this side, but nothing goes over there. So that's probably why it is that way. But that should be the engine and trans all done. Things are looking good. Let's lower it back down onto the ground here quick. And let's take a look at our engine bay. I want to make sure that I have everything put in here. When I was piecing it together, it didn't look like it had ABS. I believe the 180 is too old to have ABS, but maybe that is a fault on the modder's end. I think it looks pretty good. So we should be done with this thing now. Let's go ahead and move it into the dyno room. No engine oil, of course. That's the thing I always forget. So we'll top it off with oil quick. We'll go ahead and go into the dyno. After we get it dynoed, we will get some color on this thing. And we'll try to make it look as good as we possibly can. But let's run the dyno here and see what we have for power. Definitely hear that supercharger whine. Oh my god, dude. 1,299 horsepower and 1,174 foot-pounds of torque at super low RPM. That's why superchargers are so cool. More of a turbo fan, but still, superchargers with a V8, man, you just can't beat it. I mean, there's just power right there, right in front of your face. So let's go ahead and move this over to the paint shop now, and we will get a nice coat of color on this. I don't know what kind of color I want to do on this one, actually. Totally custom body on this thing, so let's try to do something cool. We'll see if there's any liveries for it. I doubt it. Nope, no liveries. And let's do a chrome color. What about chrome black? Chrome black is never a bad option. That is like the best looking, but we already did the S13 Coupe in a chrome black, so maybe we won't do chrome. Let's do something different here. We'll go metallic. I don't think we've done a white car, actually. Should we do a, ooh, that's actually a nice look with those black wheels. I kind of dig that. We'll do a 180 SX in white, something new, something we haven't done. And we'll do a white pearl. There we go. Actually, I take that back. We have done a white car. The Mark 1 GTI we did was white and pearl as well, but I think this thing looks pretty nice. We'll go ahead and move it to garage entrance A, take it out on the track, and see what this thing can do. 1,200 horsepower is nuts. Let's see what we're going to get as a return here. 137,000 for the car value and 27,000 restoration bonus. That is insane. And 1,200 horsepower. Like, what? So I kind of forgot to add our 6th gear in here, but hopefully we don't run out of Gearbox. And off the launch. Oh my god, okay. Oh Jesus. Maybe, ooh, buddy. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to add a 6th gear for starters. And we might need to put, like, drag tires, because I'm barely pushing the throttle. There we go. That's a little bit straighter. We're not exactly in the lines at this point. And 5th gear is going to put us into the wall, dude. This is just insane. Holy crap. Okay. We'll take it back to the garage. We'll keep the wheel specs, but we're definitely going to need a little bit grippier tire on this thing. All right, back at the garage. Let's go ahead and move this over to car lifter A. We'll get this thing up in the air, get those rear wheels taken off of there, and I think we can use the same rim, but I'm definitely going to make the rear wheels way wider, and we're going to have to change out this tire too, because it's just not going to hook up like we need it to. With 1,200 horsepower, it's just going to squeal. Let's go ahead and install one of these just to see. Oh my god, dude, you got your Hoosiers for track day, bro? This is insane. That's gonna look nuts. All right, we'll throw that one on the balancer. I'm really hoping that this does it for us, because I don't want to keep coming back and forth. I just want to put down a solid time at the drag strip and be done with it. Now this is not gonna look pretty whatsoever. It's not supposed to look pretty at this point. We're just going for, Jesus Christ. We're just going to just put down a nice time here and just make sure that this thing actually hooks up and doesn't slam us into a wall. But that looks ridiculous. Let's add our 6th gear in here, finally. Number of gears, 6. And we will have it max out at, say, 305. Sounds pretty good. Save tune. And let's head back to the drag strip. And hopefully we can at least keep it on the track this time. All right, I have high hopes. This thing looks ridiculous, you guys. That looks nuts. It's got like mega rake. Like, it looks like a drag car now. We'll pretend that we had to go ute on this and make it into a truck, because otherwise we wouldn't have been able to fit these massive wheels. Honestly, I don't know what you'd be able to fit these on, ever. It looks insane. Let's switch our view back. I don't want free camera. We'll go ahead and rev this thing up, man, and we'll see if it hooks up. I mean, it's definitely still sliding, but we can at least get a time down. I'm gonna try to stay in the white lines here. We're already up to 5th gear. 200 miles an hour, first car to hit 200. 230, 240, 250. Oh my god. Yeah, we about took flight right there, and we did at the end, but wow, the whole front of the car was literally about to lift off the ground. So 258 for top speed, 0 to 30 in 1 second. I said a minute the last time. I feel stupid about that. 0 to 62.4 seconds, 0 to 100 in 5, and 0 to 200 in 11.7. This car is nuts, dude. Like, seriously nuts. We're gonna go ahead and go back to the garage here. Okay, I created an absolute monster here. It's not even safe. You should never drive this car. 1,200 horsepower in a chassis like this would just tear it to pieces. So we have 1,299 horsepower, 1,174 foot-pounds of torque, 88,000 miles on a 180 SX, and I think we're just gonna go ahead and sell it, dude. There's no reason we need to keep this death trap around. So let's see, we're gonna get $174,000 for this car. We're gonna go ahead and sell it. Now we are at 404,000 bucks. That's gonna be plenty of money to hopefully, fingers crossed, we can find a supercar at the junkyard. We'll take it in, flip it, and hopefully we can make 1,200 horsepower, but do it safely and actually be able to put down a solid, not so crazy time down at the racetrack. But I think that's going to do it for this episode, you guys. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, leave a comment, help support the dream by smashing that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace.